Good evening, all you lovely historical fiction loving bookworms out there. This is Alex, and I just got a really exciting piece of book mail, which I'm going to share with you right now. Let's crack this open and see what it is. Okay. And lo and behold, it's the Gospel of Caiaphas by Ms. Nicole Diamond Austin. Now, I have read this in PDF as part of a Book Sirens Advanced Readers program, and I was fortunate enough to read one of the best biblical fiction novels out there. It tells the story of Caiaphas, the high priest in the time of Jesus, and you get to see him rise through the ranks of the priesthood and interact with characters like Annas and Pilate. And I really loved how the author humanized the character without excusing his more villainous traits. You know, you'll see him descend into more and more paranoia and stuff. But this is a signed copy, I think, and I'm going to share the dedication. To Alex, thank you so much for your support. Nicole Diamond Austin. Thank you, madam, because as I said, you wrote a masterpiece. So I'm going to read the synopsis and then give you a short review. The Gospel of Caiaphas offers a bold reimagining of one of history's most enduring stories, told from the perspective of the Jewish high priest who condemned Jesus of Nazareth. From humble beginnings as the son of a temple guard to the most powerful religious office in first century Judea, Joseph Caiaphas is determined to prove himself worthy. Under the tutelage of his formidable father-in-law, Caiaphas grows in both stature and influence. But as his power increases, so does his understanding of the narrow path he must walk, between duty and conscience, family and fealty, love and legacy. More than a historical retelling, the Gospel of Caiaphas is a gripping, character-driven drama, richly imagined and emotionally resonant. The Caiaphas depicted here is deeply human, and his story speaks not only to the past, but to the present, where tradition, power, and belief collide with the forces of sweeping and inexorable change. And I have to say, the synopsis really captures the mood and the tone of the book. Caiaphas is depicted here as someone who is deeply human. He starts off as the 7-year-old son of a temple guard who is violently murdered, and that murder changes his life. He will end up living in the house of the high priest Annas and be taught by him all the insides of being a part of the temple, and this is really good at, shining a light on the development of one of the greatest villains, like I said, in the Bible. And I loved how deep and complex the research that went into this was. I am working on a biblical fiction novel of my own, and this one was the first to actually explain what the chest plate of the high priest actually means, because if you've seen movies and TV shows recently, you'll notice that the high priest has a breastplate on his chest, and it has 3 rows of 4 gems each, and those represent the tribes of Israel. I didn't know that until this book. What I also loved were 2 other things. Pilate, who is mostly depicted as this cunning politician or this brutal war leader, over here is depicted as quite a bit of an inept stooge kind of character, and this was a fresh and welcome direction for this character. And I also loved how Jesus shows up very little in the book, but he fills every scene he's a part of. Like, at some point, he even gently roasts some of the scribes and Pharisees during the coin showing scene with render unto Caesar what is Caesar and unto God what is God's. And yes, this is definitely a masterpiece of biblical fiction, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it to all of you who want to get a glimpse into the life of people in the first century AD, and you will be shocked at how relevant it is to people today. You don't have to be a Christian to appreciate the story. It's not preachy whatsoever. If you're a Christian, sure, it helps. But if you're looking for a historical, character-driven drama type of story about that age, especially one focused on the relationship between the temple priests and the Romans and all the power structures around the era, this is definitely a good place to start. So the Gospel of Caiaphas gets 10 out of 5. It's a must. Read it. Peace out, people.